Pixar finally figured out how to make good movies after 5 one Saturday morning wannabes. Except for Soul, why does everyone keep overlooking Soul? Pixar's Inside Out 2 broke $1 billion and is now on Disney Plus for the people who didn't want to risk it to enjoy. But as usual, there were critics who didn't like this movie. So since the critics reviewed Inside Out 2, it's time for us to roast the critics.
Like all films worthy of praise, there are critics who will undoubtedly pan it.
Hate. Double hate. Loathe entirely.
Like it or not, their rotten score deeply affects the total Rotten Tomatoes score.
We are #1!
This matters because Hollywood executives weigh these scores to decide how future movies will be made. So if critics are trying to drag a score down, it's our responsibility as movie fans to call them out individually and expose them either as shills or people who have no reason representing mass audiences as a movie critic. If you look on Rotten Tomatoes, you'll see that Inside Out 2's critic score currently sits at 90%. A significant drop from 2015's Inside Out score of 98%. It's fine to say the sequel isn't as good as the original, but any objective critic cannot deny that it is still objectively a good film. Let's get to it then, shall we? The critics reviewed Inside Out 2. Now it's time for us to roast the critics. Barry Hurt says, "This is not the innovative, cutting-edge filmmaking that Pixar built its name on. What was once the product of pure imagination feels reduced to brand obligation." Yes, but see, Barry, you've got to understand that morale was extremely low during the making of this film.
I am the angel of death. The time of purification is at hand.
With producers making Riley less gay.
Continuous notes were then given to animators to make Riley come across as less gay in Inside Out 2.
And animators working 12 to 14-hour shifts. Never mind that many of them were fired after production wrapped without receiving the bonuses for high box office performance.
Pixar laid off 14% of its staff. One former employee said, "To be told by our HR reps that we were not going to qualify for that bonus felt like an ultimate FU from Disney." One worker said they sobbed when they heard they wouldn't get the bonus.
Now wait a minute, we at RTC are working around the clock to get these videos out to our 7 fans, and we're not even getting paychecks. Those animators had their dream job, and then they had the audacity to complain about being overworked? If you want to support us and our channel, feel free to subscribe to our Patreon page. You can get the link in the description or in the comments. David Ehrlich from IndieWire says, "So perfectly ticks Pixar's boxes. Now wait a minute. No one died in this movie. No one had to bid farewell. We didn't see the baby version of the emotions. That's a lot of boxes left unchecked. Ergo Inside Out 2 was trying something new, and they should be applauded for that." We can either applaud them or award the studio $1,607,272,063.89. Whatever's cheapest. Damon Wise from Deadline Hollywood Daily says, "There's not much fun in this 13-year-old's mind. You know, come to think of it, there wasn't much fun in my 13-year-old... Oh, wait. Yeah, there was. Ahem. Moving on now." Alison Wilmore from New York Magazine/Vulture says, "The whole structure of the film doesn't feel sophisticated enough for someone suddenly experiencing the agonizing pressure of wanting to fit in." Yes, actually, I agree with Alison. The film should have made Riley's predicaments more relatable. Like, when a teenager is presented with a time machine, where should she go? Or trying to keep your giant forest friends from killing each other. Or maybe they should have made Riley a prisoner on a pirate ship and have to concoct a way to freedom. Yes, those scenarios would be much more familiar to kids than trying to fit in with the cool kids. Michael Walsh from Nerdist and M.N. Miller from In Session Film gave the same adjective to describe Inside Out 2. They both said, "Meh." Makes you wonder if some of these critics don't meet up for Starbucks and discuss how they can tarnish the credibility of a film that normal people really enjoy. David Sexton from New Statesman has got to be the most out-of-touch critic in regards to Inside Out 2. He says, "The film is set almost entirely in a 3-day ice hockey camp for girls." Ice hockey. To non-American viewers, this is about as exciting and significant as competitive calligraphy. He may not like hockey, but he can't refute that the NHL is a $41.9 billion industry. Frankly, that's a lot more than baseball's $2.64 billion. Hockey also spawned a beloved 90s movie franchise, an animated series, and an American gold medal. Hockey is even featured in everyone's favorite television sitcoms. And besides, Pixar didn't promote Inside Out 2 as a hockey movie.
Coming soon to theaters.
Hannah Strong from Little White Lies says, Inside Out 2 takes few risks and sticks to a tried and tested formula. It's a timid offering from a once bold studio. Well, Hannah, Pixar tried taking risks and they didn't quite work. Now did they? Armand White from National Review says, Inside Out 2 resorts to trite family movie insipidness. Oh no, a family movie masquerading as a family movie. Whatever are we going to do? Yasa Medina from Cinephilia says, a sequel that... No, you know what? This critic's review is Tardy. The film came out in June.
Tardy for you, McFly. I believe that makes 4 in a row.
Why is this guy popping onto Rotten Tomatoes now just to bring the score down? We're not even going to bother with Yasser. Maybe when he writes a review in a timely manner. Seriously, if a box of Lucky Charms has an expiration date, then film critics should be required to turn their reviews in by a certain time. It's like joining an ice hockey game halfway through, sorry David, and then choosing to play on the winning team. Or, in Yasser's case, joining the losing team to get them extra points. Let's move on to the honest review. Inside Out 2's most honest review comes from Edward Douglas from The Weekend Warrior. He says, a more than suitable and satisfactory follow-up that makes one think Pixar is making its return to greatness. One can only hope.
Have you found the hidden tomato on the thumbnail yet? If so, comment below along with your favorite Pixar film. Have a movie request for us? Consider becoming a patron, and your request will be accepted before others. The link to our Patreon is in the description below. Until next time, keep roasting the critics.